What's up everyone, welcome to another video in another video series, and the series which you've been waiting for a very long time about personal finances. This series is going to be focused on how to save money, how to budget your money, how to make your money work for you, how to make more money. This is episode number 1 and we're going to talk about how to make passive income when you are a student on F1 visa or H1B visa. Let's get started. We're going to talk about 5 different ways to make passive income, and all of this I've talked to an immigration lawyer and confirmed with them. I highly recommend you to do your own research. I'm not a financial advisor and I'm not an immigration lawyer, so this is my opinion. This is my personal experiences, my methods, and how I do my personal finances. But please feel free to reach out to either immigration lawyer or a financial advisor before you take any of these steps. Before we actually get into what are those 5 different ways to make passive income, let's really talk about what is passive income. According to Wikipedia, passive income is the income that requires little to no effort to earn and maintain. It is called progressive passive income when earner expends little effort to grow the income. In a very simple language, if I have to explain you what is passive income, take an example of you planting a mango tree or an orange tree or any tree. All your effort was to plant that tree and that's about it. And once you planted it, all the fruits coming out of that tree is your income which you are generating, and which is very little or no effort. And the reason I wanted you to understand passive income is because on F1 visa or H1B visa, you are legally only allowed to work on F1 visa as a student on campus. You cannot work off campus, and on H1B visa, you're only legally allowed to work for your employer. So as soon as the passive income becomes active, which means you're putting way much time and effort to make this income steady, then that becomes an active income and you will be violating your visa laws. So make sure that it is passive and not really active. Let's start with number 1, which is investing in stocks and index funds. This is my personal favorite. I've been doing it for a very long time. I've said it many times before. This is the easiest way to start your passive income. I personally use Robinhood, and it's one of the best apps you can ever use. It's only available in United States. You cannot invest from India, so you have to be in United States to use that app. If you use the link which I put it in the description, you will get 1 free stocks if you use it, and I'll also get a free stock. But highly recommend you to use Robinhood. It's one of the best app ever you will use for investing stock. It's super easy to invest. I've made a special video on investing, day trading versus a long-term investment. Everything you do in investment in stocks or index fund is going to be a long-term investment. You cannot do day trade on your visa. If you don't know what is day trade, here's the video, go and watch and check it out so you understand what is the day trade versus long-term trade investment. Now let's talk about what is stock, what is index fund. Stock is basically a share of a company. You will be holding it and you will be owner of that share. Basically you will be owner of that company if you invest in it. Index fund, now the definition is index fund is a mutual fund or exchange ETF, exchange traded fund designed to follow to certain. Basically index fund is a group of companies coming together and selling you as a one stock. So you, instead of investing in just Apple, you buy a stock which is basically an index fund, which is a collective of companies together. So when you are not really sure about which companies you want to invest, you should go with a safe bet, which is investing in index fund, which are doing steady. They'll give you high dividends, and also it's safer because it's a collective of a company instead of just one company. So if that one company did bad, this other companies, so there's like S&P 500, Vanguard 500, Vanguard high yield. I will be making separate videos on which stock to invest in, but just to explain you, that is what index fund is, and that is what mutual fund is, that it is a collection of company you are investing in. So even though one company doesn't do well, there are other companies which are doing well. So overall the stock remains steady. Next one is going to be Airbnb or a short-term rental. I know question pops to your mind, bro, I don't really have a house and I'm a student, I'm living in an apartment. How can I do Airbnb? Great question. Again, I'm not saying that this is what you should be doing. This is one of the way you can do or you could do. So let's say you live in an apartment with 2 bedrooms and you are 2 roommates. Hopefully have your own private room and the other person has your own private room. You can decide to rent on Airbnb, put your apartment on Airbnb, or maybe just put your room on Airbnb, and you can put it for Thanksgiving, Christmas break, winter breaks, or like graduation ceremonies. So only tricky part is that you have to obviously talk to your roommate that they are okay with someone else coming and staying for a night or couple nights. Also, you have to talk to your property manager, whoever lives in. If you are renting out from a bigger apartment community, then you have to, ask them that can you do this, and if you can, what are the rules and laws and all of that for that property or for that apartment. I've also seen this happening a lot where all of the roommates agreed and decides to take a holiday, and then they can put entire apartment on rent and make money off of it. I will give you a stat that on graduation weekend you can most likely make $400 to $500 a night. Yes. So let's say if somebody rented your whole apartment for 2 nights, you probably made $1,000, and that will cover your entire rent for that month, just renting out 2 nights. Again, I want to mention that you cannot become an active, like you cannot start renting other apartments and then put it on Airbnb and just spending like 5-6 hours just managing Airbnbs and responding to guests. That becomes an active job for you. So that is not anymore passive, and that becomes an active. So if you want to do that, you are more than welcome to do that, but you need to hire a property manager who manages your Airbnb. You can do that. Airbnb has an option to rent as a give it to your property to property manager and they will take care of it. You decide the terms, how much you want to pay them, or you want to give them the percentage of the property being rented. All right, moving on to long-term rental, which is the third one, and you can invest in a rental property and rent out that property for a long term, or you can do Airbnb on that property which you invested in. So this is kind of an extension of the second point, where let's say you bought a house and maybe that house comes with a guest house and you want to rent out that guest out for somebody for a long term, for an entire year. You can totally do that because you're just doing for entire year, and that's not an active job, and that you can make money off of your rental income. You can still live in an apartment and just buy a house to rent out for full time if you have the money, if you have the down payment to invest in the house, and you can still do that and then just hire a property manager who will manage your property for rental. There are lots and lots of people who are doing this, lots and lots of students who are doing this. I know so many of them. And this definitely comes with a little bit of a risk, because if you don't get a renter or if the renter damages your property, you have to be little, calculated with your investment in that case. This is mainly for H1B people because they will have enough money to put the down payment. In California, again, I'm going a little sidetrack, but in California, there's about 3%. You can put a down payment as low as 3%. So, for example, a house of 300,000 in Chico, which will get you 3 bedroom, 3 bathroom a big house over here. For that, you will have to pay down payment of $9,000 and maybe another extra $9,000 for everything else. And so let's say $18,000. So if you do have $18,000, you invested in that property, you'll roughly make $1,500 to $2,000 as a rent, and your mortgage will be either less or equal to $1,500. So technically you just put the down payment and someone else is paying the mortgage for you. Or you can also make that as an Airbnb and list the entire house on Airbnb, and people will pay as per night, which will be $100 or $200 for 3 bedroom. And then if you calculate that for 30 days, if your house is booked out for 30 days, that's roughly about, if you do the $150 as well, that's $4,000, roughly $4,000 for entire month. Your mortgage is $1,500. You make a profit of $2,500. I know it is very tempting, but there's a lot more involvement in it. Again, if you are doing Airbnb as a rental property, make sure to hire a property manager, because they are just managing your property and you are not actively involved in managing that property. That's my high recommendation. Just like renting your property or your apartment, you can also rent out your car, which is the fourth point, renting out your car to make passive income. There's an app called Turo, BURO, and you can actually list your car. If you have a car, you can list your car and somebody will take that car and then rent it for a day or a couple days or for a weekend or for entire week, and then they will give it back to you. I've heard people making anywhere from $20 to $200 depending on what car you have. If you have a basic Honda, you'll probably not make a lot, but if you have Tesla, I've heard people making $200, $300 for one day to rent it out. So, and again, you know, depending on how much, if your car is just sitting at your house and you're not doing it, let someone else take it for a ride, and you know, you are covered with all the insurance with the app and everything. So if anything happens to your car, you get entire money from the app itself. You are covered with the insurance with them. Fifth one is a little bit of an extension of fourth one, where you are not really renting a car, but you are driving car for somebody. I'm not talking about Uber, I'm talking about carpooling. So let's say you have a commute of an hour every day, and maybe there are more people who are also commuting that route. There are multiple apps which you can be using to carpool your car from one place to another destination, and really you are just doing the same route, but there are people adding into your car and you get payment for that. And in this case, it's not really a payment, but they redeem you with points or they redeem with your gas and other things. So I'll put a link in the description of those apps. One is Waze and then other one doesn't come to my mind, but I'll put in the description and you can look it up. Those are the 5 ways where you can make passive income, but there's one more, and this one I kept it bonus and out of this 5 because it's a little tricky and a little sketchy. And the 6th one is having an online course which you built it yourself, and now people are paying to learn from that. Or you built an app where people are paying for it, or you built a product or service, people are using that, and you are no more involved in making or maintaining of that. You're just making money off of it. Now the only caveat, the only trick is that you cannot be doing that when you are in United States. Meaning, if you, let's say if you do right now, if you are in India and you decided, or in your home country, you can teach Android or iOS or web development, whatever that it is. If you did make a course online, you know, that course is, you can put it on Udemy, and that was made when you were in India. If people are still buying it when you studied in United States or on H1B, that money is valid because you made it in India. You know, you just, that is called a passive income because you're no more actively involved in it. Similarly, you made an app which in India or your home country, and people are able to use that app and paying money for it. It's a paid app, and so, and you came to United States for your studies, but the only thing is you cannot be working on updates and all of that and still make money off of that. That is a little sketchy and tricky and becomes an active income at that point of time. Those are some of the ways where you can make passive income and make your money work for you instead of you working on it. I am thinking about it, starting a WhatsApp group or maybe like a Slack channel or something where we can all share what we are doing for in terms of our personal finance and help each other in the community. Stay tuned. In the next episode, I'll give you more update on that, and also I'll give you an update on which stocks to invest in, where you can make money. The stock will give you dividends and all of that, and I'll also explain what is dividend in the next one. Until then, keep smiling and keep hustling. Gotta hustle every single day. By the way, also comment and let me know your feedback on this series. I know you've been waiting for this series. What are some of your suggestion, feedback, review, whatever it is, please comment and let me know.